Okay, we're going to start the session 4 for our program today. As I commented at the opening of the program, we are at the transition start and into the transition phase of going or changing their name from the NSDA or National Spasmodic Dysphonia Association to Dysphonia International. So let me take a few minutes and kind of review how did we get here. And I know that for some of you, you've heard, you know this, and you've heard us talk about this before, but I also know there's some of you who are not terribly familiar with what we're doing and why. So about 3 years ago, or more than 3 years ago, we decided that we needed to expand our mission. And the reason for that, as many of you know, and you've heard today from different people, that many of us with SD also have other voice conditions. And then there are lots of people who have conditions other than SD. And one of the things you heard a couple of speakers today talk about is vocal fold paralysis and paresis, which is a huge problem. And the number of patients is much larger than for us with SD or even with vocal tremor patients. So we realized that many people with those conditions are participating and have been participating in our local groups for years. So the one thing that I always had a concern about was from time to time, I would hear people express to me, gee, I don't have SD. Is it okay that I participate in this meeting or even be here for this meeting? So as we started talking about that, the one driver for me, or one of the drivers, was I don't want people asking that question. I don't want them feeling any way that they are not comfortable or they're not welcome being a part of our organization and attending any and all functions, in particular our local support group meetings. So that's when we decided to expand our mission. And if you look at our mission, what we say today is that the NSDA, and I'm going to put dash, Dysphonia International, is dedicated to improving the lives of people affected with spasmodic dysphonia and related voice conditions through research, education, awareness, and support. So we added those words, related voice conditions, and we chose those words purposely. We wanted them to be a bit nebulous because we really don't know what type of relationship some of these voice conditions have with SD. And you heard some of the discussion today, particularly from a couple of our researchers talking about that. So we made the change with our mission. And it became clear, and I think it was pretty clear to most of us already, that it probably was time to take a look at the name of the organization, because we changed the mission, expanded the mission to be inclusive of people with various types of voice conditions. Yet our name was exclusive, National Spasmodic Dysphonia Association. So we spent a lot of time talking about whether we should change the name, because the NSDA started in 1989. So we had been in existence for more than 30 years when we started this conversation. So there's a lot of history, a lot of good history. And interesting enough, we still have 2 of the original board members from 1989 working with us today. So I went to those 2 board members individually and had conversation with them about changing the name. When they both said, it's time, let's move on there are reasons to, we're expanding our mission. So let's look at it and change the name. That made a huge difference for me. So as we started the discussions and in some cases debate, and good debate, we arrived at the name for the organization as Dysphonia International. So Kim, can you put that one slide up, or the, doesn't matter, the one you had up before even works. So let me spend a couple of minutes and talk a little bit about the logo, because when we came up with a new name, Dysphonia International, we said, wow, we really have to have a logo that's more appropriate and consistent with the name. So the curved lines represent a voice wave. And it's important to distinguish between voice and speech, as a couple of our young ladies talked about in the previous session. But you will notice that the curved lines in the voice wave are interrupted or broken. And that's on purpose, because we want to demonstrate that that's a broken voice wave. So we talked about, okay, how do we further define that and put some perspective to it? So we came up with adding the vertical line at the front to represent an individual. So you look at it in total, and it's basically an individual talking with a broken voice. And that's essentially how we arrived at the logo. And also, let me point out the colors that you see when we show Dysphonia International and our logo are a bit different than the colors we were using for NSDA. And these colors are sharper. They really kind of pop more than our color did for NSDA. And we wanted to bring that to the forefront and make it more distinguishable. So that, in kind of a quick nutshell, is how we arrived at Dysphonia International. Now, we could spend a lot of time talking about why the words dysphonia and international. Just quickly, dysphonia is the medical term for voice conditions or voice problems. And we've always had this great relationship with healthcare professionals that we continue to work to expand, and we want to maintain that relationship. So we all felt it was important to keep the word dysphonia international, because we have been international for years. And as a matter of fact, just in a few minutes, you're going to hear a video or see a video from my predecessor, who served as president of this organization, giving his perspective on the new name and expanded mission. And he happens to live in Auckland, New Zealand. So that's pretty international. But we've had people from other countries be a part of and participate in our organization really for a long, long time. So it just really made sense to use the word international. So we started the process probably a year and a half ago with all of the various legal filings. And quite honestly, a lot of that required more time than we had anticipated. And of course, part of it was because of the pandemic, and things just didn't get done very quickly. But where we are today is we have all of the fundamental legal filings completed, particularly with the IRS and with the Secretary of State's office in Illinois. So that allows us to move forward with our transition to start using the new name Dysphonia International. And I might add, part of that filing with IRS, we now have a new tax ID number for Dysphonia International. So for some of you, that's going to be important if you have a family foundation or whatever that you contribute to our organization from that foundation, then you'll need to use the new name and the new tax ID number going forward. It's not something you have to do immediately, but as we work through this transition, something you'll need to take into consideration. So we've kind of reached the point now where it makes sense for us to expand our efforts to move forward with changing the name. And for the past 2 days, on Thursday in our board meeting, one of the things we did was officially install the current NSDA board members as the charter board members for Dysphonia International. In addition, we needed to verify or ratify that Kim, our executive director, our other members of staff, and we have a new full-time staff member who started just this week, Nicole Leitner. And of course, the two ladies have been a huge help for the organization, particularly for Kim over the past few years. Nancy Panos and Angie Pinsky are the other members of our staff. So as a board, we needed to confirm that the staff is now employees of Dysphonia International, as well as NSDA. So we're starting through that process and putting things in place so we can move forward. And obviously, a lot of work and a lot of changes to be done yet. And that's why we talk about this being a transition. It's not a flash cut. That would not make sense for us at all. So we'll transition from NSDA to Dysphonia International over maybe the next year, perhaps the next 2 years, if it takes us that long, to get everything done appropriately and properly and put into place. So that is kind of a summary of how we got here and our thinking behind it. And to me, and you've heard some of this today, it really just opens up a lot of opportunities for us as an organization, because there are so many people with various types of voice conditions. And we as a community need to continue to reach out to those people, let them know that we are here. And something that I've said for a period of time, and I really believe this, we are uniquely positioned as an organization to help people with any type of voice condition, because as you have heard, a lot of the daily challenges, whether it be a person with vocal fold paralysis, paresis, vocal tremor, MTD, some of the other voice conditions, we all face essentially the same challenges in our daily lives. Yeah, maybe the name of the condition is a little bit different, and perhaps the treatment options are a little bit different, but the day-to-day challenges are basically the same. And we are really the only organization for people with voice conditions. There are some websites and that people can go to, but as a real live functioning organization, we really are in a unique position to help a tremendous number of people. And that's what we need to really focus on, keep perspective on, that we can help, we can bring hope to thousands of people with voice conditions. So the new name really opens up those opportunities for us to do that. So I'm going to stop at this point. And Kim, can we do the video that David did?
My name is David Barton. I live in Auckland, New Zealand. It's a privilege to be able to participate in this video at the time where the NSDA is transitioning to a new name, Dysphonia International. Dysphonia International, I think, captures the idea that we reach the whole wide world with our interest in voice problems. We started off with spasmodic dysphonia, but now we're supporting people with related voice disorders as well. This is particularly special to me because I'm actually a New Zealander, and I first found the NSDA about 25 years ago, and I instantly realized how important it was to be able to link up with the few of us who have spasmodic dysphonia, and it provided both an interest and an avenue to reach out to others. And later on, I found that I wanted to pay back and support others as well. Anyway, with the name change, I think it does acknowledge our international outreach, and it means we can acknowledge our support groups and area contact leaders in other parts of the world. At the NSDA, we've found by attending symposiums and so on that research into voice disorders is actually an international field. In fact, our founder, Dr. Dan Trong, originally comes from Vietnam, and that's just one example of how we've benefited from international input. And then we've got a long list of doctors like Christy Ludlow, who was born in Canada. I think Bob Bastian was as well. Then we've got scientists like Christina Simonyan, Christopher Honey, based in Canada, Dr. Konzak is from Germany, and so on. So it really is an international field. I think it's important to acknowledge that. So anyway, this was even the case when I was the president of the NSDA from about 2005 to 2010, that we attracted international participants to our symposiums and also presenters as well. And on a personal level, I want to acknowledge the really valuable part that the NSDA has played in my life. And I think it's really exciting that we're making this change to broaden our horizons. It says very emphatically to everyone around the world that they're not alone in their struggle with a voice disorder, and it means we're all in the same boat, and as a united group, I think we're going to make a lot of progress towards our goal of finding cures, maybe the reason for spasmodic dysphonia and other voice disorders, and certainly finding more effective treatments. So thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity.
Terrific. David is just, boy, he's special. And I remember when I first came into the organization more than 20 years ago, just making friends and hitting it off with David almost immediately. And we've always had this fantastic working relationship over the years. And he's a special person for sure. And he touched on a couple of things I think are that triggered a couple of thoughts too. And it's important for everyone to realize that, you know, we're not going to go far afield and change our focus on research. And I hope you got that perspective today from our program, that our primary focus on research is and will continue to be spasmodic dysphonia. But as we learn more and we start to realize some of the perhaps relationships and interconnections of other voice conditions, and in fact, there are a couple of research projects where we are funding that include both SD and vocal tremor. So I think going forward, we're going to see more of those projects, because I think we're going to find that there's more of a relationship going on with some various types of voice conditions, and that SD is not just a standalone condition. So important for me to emphasize to you not to worry that we're going to go off and start funding research into Parkinson's or other things like that. They have their own, thank goodness, fantastic organizations, and they do fantastic work. So we will stay with our focus. We will stay with our knitting, so to speak, from the standpoint of research, and we'll see where that takes us as we go forward in the future. So that's, again, a quick overview, snapshot of how we got here, where we are. And now I'm going to ask Mary Bifaro, our support network director, to talk a little bit more about some of the specifics of how the voice or the name change maybe impacts our support network. So, Mary.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome. My name is Mary Bifaro, and I have been invited to speak about the expansion of support and the idea of belonging to Dysphonia International. I have served as support network director since 2005. In addition, I have been involved with my local support group in Charlotte, North Carolina, since we were founded 33 years ago. As we reflect on the 33-year history of the NSDA, we look back with gratitude. We look forward with excitement and anticipation. We, the support network of Dysphonia International, lift our voices in unity. We are mindful that our outreach is truly international, and that we have expanded our mission to include related voice disorders. We have already been welcoming people with different voice conditions to our support network. So this change helps helps to solidify our commitment. And this change shows the inclusivity and care that has been shared in the past. The support network promotes leadership development and empowerment because of the ongoing push for engagement and program activity. We continue to advance in our important work. Yesterday, I had the privilege of chairing the 18th Annual Support Leadership Workshop with our leaders across the U.S. and in international regions. There were 56 registered. The energy, enthusiasm, and empathy displayed should make us all feel grateful, hopeful, and proud. The workshop yesterday was focused on the change we are making and working to prepare our leaders so that they are more confident in providing support with the expanded mission. We also want to hear from them about the tools and resources that we as an organization can provide to them in order to support them in their role. Our leaders are incredible. They stand side by side with one hope and one dream. They want to help improve the lives of people with SD and related voice conditions. All leaders in our support network have agreed to having their contact information shown on our powerful website at dysphonia.org. Today, there are about 45 support groups. Along with our support groups, we have about 100 area contact leaders that serve as a vital network in locations where support groups are not yet formed. We encourage everyone to look at our website to see if there is a local support person in your area. I can assure you that they hope to hear from you. They would like to help you. If so, reach out and connect and start to build a local network. If there is not a local person, will you please consider becoming an area contact leader yourself? We are always welcoming new volunteers so that we can help build our community. The support pillar of Dysphonia International has always been constant. We want to bring hope to those we serve, hope for better treatments, hope for an eventual cure, hope in knowing that everyone belongs in our community, no matter where you live, how old you are, how your voice sounds. Hope as an acronym might express helping other people endure. Since the pandemic started 2 years ago, we have continued to connect virtually with our community. Since launching our virtual support meetings, we have been able to reach people, some who have never met another person living with spasmodic dysphonia or a related voice condition. Being virtual has truly connected our community. All virtual support group meetings are listed at dysphonia.org. In any given quarter, there are between 10 and 15 groups which have organized meetings. If you find a time or topic that interests you, please register and join us regardless of your location. I can assure you of a warm welcome. Also, we have hosted 2 global Walk for Talk events. These events take place annually in October, and they teach us that our outreach is far and wide. Generations of people and their pets come together in support of our worthy cause, Dysphonia International. They do so to raise awareness about SD and related voice conditions. We hope, and I invite each and every one to consider joining us this year for our 3rd annual Walk for Talk. 4 days this October 20 through 23, a Thursday through a Sunday. Approximately 87% of the budget of NSDA Dysphonia International is dedicated to research, increasing awareness, and support programs and activities. This is another record that we can all be proud of. Until a cause and cure for ST have been found, our work continues. So I remind you, no matter your voice condition, your age, or your location, you belong to Dysphonia International. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. Terrific. Okay, Kim, you want to give more details about Walk for Talk and any other activities you want to talk about?
Sure, I'd be happy to. As Mary mentioned, Walk for Talk, we started that in 2020 during COVID because we were looking for a way to bring the community together. And this walk, it was really built upon it was really built upon our local groups who had been doing walks for quite a while. And having the opportunity to do it virtually was new for us. And the most important thing about it was to bring the community together, as Mary has mentioned. And with it being virtual, anyone could participate anywhere they wanted to. And that really was an important piece for this. As we did the first year, it exceeded all of our expectations. And so we tried it again last year in 2021. And again, it exceeded all of our expectations. And I want to give a special thank you to Mary, who has served as the walk chairperson for the committee the last 2 years, along with our other members of the walk committee. And really also a special thank you to all of the people who have participated and donated. As Mary mentioned, we will be hosting our third one, October 20th through the 23rd, and we really hope all of you will join us. There's no cost to join. It's just all about raising awareness and with raising funds for research, which has really been incredible because in 2021, we've been able to fund over $200,000 in research grants, which is the first time we've ever been able to do that in one calendar year. And so with your support, we are moving forward with the research. What I'd like to share now is a video from it's a compilation video from the 2021 walk. And it just brings together our community once again, and it's a very special song that's featured.
I was having trouble getting words to come out, and I felt like I was choking on them. The doctor told me it was a rare neurological condition that affects the vocal cords, causing spasms which make speech very difficult. I was glad to finally find out the cause of my condition, but very discouraged when he told me there was no cure.
I've been living with adductor spasmodic dysphonia for 22 years. And though October is a month also for raising awareness about cancer, I've had conversations and had comments made that, well, at least you're not fighting cancer, and at least it's not life-threatening. And for years, I wouldn't say anything about my condition because it wasn't as serious as cancer. But the pain and impact of it is still significant, and even the shame of it. So we've learned to say that it may not be life-threatening, but it is life-changing.
I myself have struggled with voice disorders all my life, and it's had a great impact on me. So I'm hoping to find a cure soon. Thank you.
It's a foggy day here in Decatur, Alabama. And just as the fog makes it difficult to see clearly, spasmodic dysphonia, also known as laryngeal dystonia, makes it difficult to speak clearly. Spasmodic dysphonia is a rare condition that controls the muscles that surround the larynx. So when you speak, the muscle spasms. The muscles, your voice may be very broken, strained, no voice at all, very hoarse.
Talking on the phone is very difficult, if non-existent. Ordering in restaurants is very hard, and Carrie usually orders for me, or I'll point to what I want. Also, just having communication with people on a general basis. So those are the type of things that I'm working so hard for Walk for Talk and laryngeal dystonia. So your donations help find either a cure or another treatment for me.
You can't hear me, and I can just hear right now some of my friends going, I can't understand a word you're saying. That is the point.
This is Dr. Michael Rontel. In the 50 years of my laryngeal practice, I have seen this condition of spasmodic dysphonia go from one that was considered to be psychological in origin to one that is now recognized as a neurologic condition. With that has come much better thought out treatment, from surgery to Botox and combinations thereof. Approximately 30 years ago, a group from the Detroit area, along with others, helped to form a National Spasmodic Dysphonia Association, which has given tirelessly support in all forms to those who have this condition, as well as finding and helping to direct research towards a better understanding and better treatment. I hope that you will walk with me, the Walk for the Talk, and help support in every way this group that has given much to all of us. Thank you.
My reason for walking is to spread awareness of spasmodic dysphonia and related voice conditions, as well as to raise funds for research that'll go towards better treatment options and ultimately a cure.
We walk to raise awareness about spasmodic dysphonia and funds for SD research.
To raise awareness of and money for research into spasmodic dysphonia and related voice disorders.
Raise a lot of money for this event, Walk for Talk, to especially support research into finding a cure for this disorder.
Awareness to people about spasmodic dysphonia, and hopefully we will raise money to help in research, so there may be a cure.
I'm an area contact person in Muskoka, Ontario, and me and my parents are out for a walk to talk to raise awareness. I have abductor SD, and it's been about 5.5 years, and we are out to Walk for Talk.
This event is just an incredible activity that involves everyone across our community, and this year we have people in more than 40 states and 9 countries actually participating in the Walk for Talk.
Just one last thing I need to do. Before I walk today, I need to sign a waiver releasing the NSDA of any responsibility in case something should happen to me while I walk. Now seriously, what could possibly happen?
Walk for Talk! Walk for Talk!
Let's go NSDA! Team Charlotte is on the move! Woo-hoo!
Walk for Talk!
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 Hi! We are speech pathologists who specialize in voice in Arizona, and we are supporting Walk for Talk at the top of Camelback Mountain.
My thanks and appreciation to everyone participating, whether you are involved in walking, running, biking, whatever activity. We appreciate all of you and certainly appreciate everyone that makes a contribution to help us with our fight to conquer spasmodic dysphonia and related voice conditions.
Thank you again for all your support and love. Thanks.
We're letting our four-legged friends walk the talk. Woohoo! We gotta find a cure.
voice. Some of us don't have a choice to bring it out in the world how we want to. I have a voice, a reason to rejoice, but I wanna swallow my words when the hollowness hurts. But I don't wish on lucky stars, 'cause I found I'm not alone. Finally I'm building a place to call home. I was never alone. May I have your attention, please? Freedom of speech ain't easy for everybody, but we all need to reach out to one another, to our sisters and brothers. A new day is dawning, new ways to keep talking. But I don't wish on lucky stars, 'cause I found that I'm not alone. Finally I'm building a place to call home. But I don't wish on lucky stars, 'cause I found I'm not alone. Finally I'm building a place to call home. My voice was never alone. I was never alone. I was never alone.
Wow. It's been a fantastic day. The excitement and enthusiasm that I have seen and felt for the past 3 days is just incredible. And I appreciate all of you participating and being a part of our organization. Today, your questions, your comments have been enlightening and very helpful, and just very much appreciated. And that's the way that we all gather more information, and that's one of the real basic points of our organization, that we share our stories, we share our journeys, and we learn from each other. And in doing that, we help each other. And that's what we are about as an organization. So I, again, thank you and appreciate all of your support, your contributions in so many ways to the organization and to our community. So next year, we are excited about meeting in person. And oh my goodness, I can't imagine that we're not going to be able to meet in person next year. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But Kim, we got a slide there with the dates. There we go. We have been trying for 3 years to get to the Detroit area, and by golly, we're gonna get there next year. So looking forward to seeing all of you April 29th of next year. So with that, I would ask one more favor of all of you. Give us your feedback, your comments, your input about the meeting today. What worked for you? things that we could do differently, better. And that's how we improve as an organization. So we want, as Kim has said so many times, we're here to serve each other. And so let's continue to communicate and share questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. So please give us your feedback, and that's how we make these sessions more meaningful for all of us. So with that, I'm going to call it a wrap, and thank all of you so very much, and to all of our presenters, and for all the people in the background who worked so hard to put this meeting together and make it a success today. So thank you, and God bless.